One of the projects that I'm involved with is the Fair Tax Mark. Now, I don't run it, I'm a director of it, but plenty of other people are involved in it now. And it's growing fast. And we're going to see a lot more companies with the Fair Tax Mark in the next 12 months than we have in the last 12 months of its first 12 months of existence. Fundamentally, we're about disclosure, about communication. Because one of the big problems that has very obviously come to the fore as the tax debate has developed is the problem that large companies have in understanding what people want of them, and people not understanding what large companies actually do and how they must behave. And frankly, accounts, which are one of the major mechanisms for communicating tax information, are really, really bad at the job. I mean, that's being very polite to them. You could actually say they frankly misinform. So what we are trying to do in the Fair Tax Mark is not to say a company must pay a particular rate of tax, although we do rate the amount that people pay as part of our assessment system. What we're trying to encourage businesses, large and small, and some of our companies are very tiny and some are really quite big. The biggest so far is SSE PLC, which is quoted in the FTSE 100. We're trying to get them all to communicate better why they're paying tax at a particular rate. What are the reasons why they aren't paying tax at the headline rate that the government sets? And how they are managing their tax process, how they're managing the risks, how they're assessing those, how they're managing their relationships with HM Revenue and Customs, what their attitude towards tax avoidance is. Will they use tax havens or not? Will they take part in risky tax schemes or not? And we're trying to get them to put this on record. And in the process, what we're trying to do is obviously give consumers an easy way of identifying companies who are trying to achieve good standards in all these areas and avoid risk, and therefore actually not necessarily pay right tax, but certainly not take risk with regard to the tax system, but are also willing to explain. Now, I will give you an example. We are soon going to have a company which is going to get a Fair Tax Mark which isn't paying tax. Some people would say, but that's surely impossible. Well, actually, no, it isn't. This company will have achieved a major social objective. It has cleared its pension deficit. That's great for its employees. Let's be clear. You can't ask for something much more for employees and actually make sure their pension is safe. But at the same time, there are a lot of tax reliefs available for clearing your pension deficit. The result will be they don't pay tax for a bit. What they asked us to do is how do we communicate that to our varied stakeholder groups? Existing accounting standards are focused only on the needs of investors, and even then a very narrow group of investors. We're interested in communicating across a wide range of stakeholder groups and trying to help a company explain its tax to those people. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. If and when all companies have learned how to do this, I suspect we won't have a market. Until then, what we're trying to do is pioneer new ways of communicating this, to be exemplars of how other companies might want to join in and better communicate to all their stakeholders, their investors, the communities they work in all the countries where they work, their employees, their customers and so on, and even the tax authorities. How are we coming up with this tax disclosure and what does it mean?